There's been a lot of talk about this being the last season Daniel Jones will be on the New York Giants roster. So we're going to talk about 2025 QB targets for the Giants and NFL free agency, some draft candidates, as well as some trade targets. But first, I want all the real ones to weigh in the comment section for me. Will Daniel Jones be on the Giants next year? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type N for no. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. When it comes to DJ being on the team or off the team, it focuses on the financials. If he's on the roster for 2025, he will be having a cap hit of $41.6 million, one of the higher marks amongst all QBs in the National Football League. If they do decide to part ways with him and cut him, they would save $19.3 million. So Joe Schoen will be faced with a tough decision on what he wants to do at that quarterback spot. And overall, just looking at it from 30,000 feet out, if Daniel Jones is going to avoid being cut by the New York Giants, I believe the Giants are going to want to be a team that is competing as it gets colder outside. When we get into December and January, if Daniel Jones really wants to make a strong case for him to be on the team next year at $41.6 million, the Giants are going to need to be playing competitive football and meaningful football and trying to make a playoff spot. For me, if I was the general manager, if I was Joe Schoen, the only way I would keep Jones on this roster for the 2025 season at $41.6 million, I need to be left with the belief that he can win a Super Bowl as one of the better players on the roster. Because if you're going to make $41 million, you're probably the highest paid player on the team, which means you need to be one of the most productive players on the team. And I just don't know if he is that guy. I need to leave this season believing that he can be a franchise quarterback that can win you a Super Bowl. We're going to find out this year if that's the case. Let's start with a couple of trade targets. I think Dak Prescott is a player that might be traded by the Dallas Cowboys next offseason. He's in a contract dispute right now with the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't sound like they're going to give him a deal prior to the season starting, and Dak is trying to break the bank once again. And the reason we're bringing him up is because Adam Schefter has linked Prescott to New York. Schefter said this a couple of months ago on the Pat McAfee show, quote, "Dak, to me, is a really good QB. So if and when he becomes a free agent next year, Dallas may want him back, but there might be a quarterback-needy team, Giants, Panthers, who knows? We could go through this list right now. There will be no shortage of suitors for Dak Prescott as a true unrestricted free agent on the open market. So it could be a trade, and it could be a spot where they sign him in unrestricted free agency, but he's just not my first option. There's a couple of reasons for that. Dak's a really good quarterback, and we'll talk about that, but it's just the money that you're going to have to commit to him. And where the Giants are at in their rebuild and the retooling of this roster, do you want to pay a guy $55 million per year? Dak is solid. I think he gets a lot of hate because he does have that star on his helmet. If this guy played for the Seattle Seahawks, we would consistently be talking about him as one of the best QBs in the NFL. 36 touchdowns last year, 9 interceptions. He's consistently the decision maker on an offense that ranks in the top 5, it seems like, year in, year out. It's easy, though, to hate on him because he's a Cowboy and because he hasn't played all that well in the playoffs before. Just 2 in 5 and 7 playoff games for Dak. His stats go down a little bit. I'm not going to say the reason they lose in the playoffs is because of Dak, but he's definitely a reason for that. I think Dak's a good player, but he's getting older, and maybe his best days are behind him. I would personally pass on making a trade or signing him in free agency. Another player that could get traded or maybe a free agent next season is Tua Tagovailoa. Similar situation with Dak, except he's trying to get his first big contract in the National Football League and finding a way to secure the bag. He's seeing other quarterbacks like Jared Goff and others get absolutely cashed out, and he's going to want the same. And the reason I mainly mentioned Tua on today's show is because he does have a relationship with Brian Daboll. When Tua was at Bama, Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Crimson Tide, so there is a relationship there. And if Daboll is still the coach next year and Tua does become available and the Giants need a quarterback, I'm sure Daboll, if he did like working with Tua, would push for him to be that guy. You look at what he's done over the last 4 years, and he's just kind of a model of consistency. I think McDaniel coming over and being really that offensive guru, and adding the talent has really helped him. But like Dak, he's going to want a lot of money, and I would just rather find my quarterback that is young in the NFL draft, that's cost-controlled for 5 seasons at a much more reasonable price, and continue to build out the rest of the roster. Like, if the Giants were to add a top quarterback to this team right now, are they going to win a Super Bowl? My answer would probably be no, because they are just not good enough and have enough talent elsewhere. So let's continue to build up the roster, and then let's find a quarterback that could be cost-controlled for the next couple of years in the NFL draft. Who are the highest-paid quarterbacks? And Dak Prescott, he's going to want to be in the top 5 in this list. Tua Tagovailoa, he's going to want to be in the top 5. And I really do think it's going to be hard for the Giants to build out this roster if you're committing this much money to the quarterback while still having about a $22 million dead cap hit for the New York Giants. So I just don't see it happening. $55 million to 43. Jones about 41. Just a lot of money for a quarterback that I just don't know could win you a Super Bowl as you continue to try to mature out this roster. Some free agent quarterbacks. Jordan Love, similar situation as Tua and Dak. He's looking for a major payday, and I believe the Green Bay Packers are going to give him whatever he wants. Justin Fields could be an option. Maybe you think Daboll could work with him. I think Jimmy Garoppolo could be a cheap option as well, that maybe you go out and cut Daniel Jones, sign Jimmy G to a cheap 1-year deal, draft a quarterback. Garoppolo plays the first couple of games and passes the torch to him, or the rookie just starts right away and Garoppolo is a cheap, experienced backup. Mac Jones also could be in a similar option as Justin Fields or Jimmy G. Coming up next, really, free agency and trades, doesn't seem like you're going to find your guy. So we're going to look ahead to the 2025 NFL draft class and talk about 6 quarterbacks around the corner. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, True Nutrition. Take care of yourself, as health is wealth. And if you use the promo code CHAT, you're going to get 15% off. Go to truenutrition.com, use that promo code CHAT, and get 15% off. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. If you're buying protein powder or other supplements, you should be concerned about the ingredients. It's not a secret that the supplement industry is not heavily regulated, and many products on the market have fillers and even harmful chemicals in them. That's why I'm excited to have True Nutrition on board. It can be really hard to find the right protein powder to match your body and fitness goals. That's why with True Nutrition, you can create your own fully customizable protein powder mix with the exact ingredients you want based on your activity, taste, diet, and goals. This truly is sports nutrition designed by you with the highest quality products, no BS. I'm someone that's trying to take better care of myself, trying to lose some weight, get in the gym, and I've been able to do it with True Nutrition. I've got the French vanilla protein powder mix right here. It tastes awesome, and that's a major piece of the puzzle for me. If it doesn't taste good, I'm not going to eat it. I also love that it's ready in minutes, pure ingredients, nutritious and delicious. It's accessible and affordable, and you could save 15% off with our code CHAT. Go to truenutrition.com/chat. Use that code CHAT for 15% off. Because we love and care about you, I'll make sure that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. For a limited time, Giants Now listeners get 15% off your entire order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 15% off your order at truenutrition.com with promo code CHAT. Take the guesswork out of nutrition with True Nutrition. The link and code will be in the comments and the description of today's show. Try it out. Give it a chance. I promise you guys are going to love it. I love it. It's a part of my daily diet as well. Check them out, truenutrition.com/chat, promo code CHAT, 15% off. All righty, let's talk about the top quarterback prospects for the 2025 NFL Draft. And it seems like Carson Beck has come in and kind of asserted himself as that number 1 guy coming out of Georgia. He isn't the kind of slam dunk prospect Caleb Williams was last year, but I do think he is someone that is the clear favorite to be the QB1. He's got really good accuracy. I think he anticipates really well, has a big arm as well. He placed top 5 in college last year in both adjusted completion rate and average time to throw. His 91.5 overall grade ranked 4th among all QBs in the country last year, completed 72.4% of his passes, almost 4,000 yards, 24 passing touchdowns. He can also move a little bit, an underrated athlete, in my opinion. 4 rushing touchdowns. He did a good job taking care of the ball as well. Not someone that I'm just 100% sure is going to be a great player in this league. I'm a little bit down on this QB class, but Beck with that big arm and just playing winning football over the past couple of years seems like he's starting to write himself in as the QB1 for this draft class. Shedeur Sanders as well being mentioned as one of the top QBs in this class. He's someone that I feel like people have the wrong read on. I think his arm strength is a little bit questionable, but it's his accuracy, decision-making, and timing that I really like. I don't think he's someone that's going to wow you with his ability to throw the ball to every single blade of grass and have that elite arm talent. But when it comes to playing the quarterback position, being a leader, someone that you can trust to make throws into tight windows, he could do that. And he's really smart with the ball as well. Completed 69% of his passes last year, just 3 interceptions. Not the greatest athlete in the world. I think he's got good pocket mobility, and he uses athleticism in that way more so than as a runner, but still had 4 rushing touchdowns, and he threw 27 tutties as well. Quinn Ewers, one of my actual favorite quarterbacks in this class, kind of gives me Jay Cutler vibes. I wonder if he's all the way bought in mentally. But when it comes to a skill set and it comes to checking the box of what a professional quarterback looks like, how they operate, and how they throw the football, Quinn Ewers is up there. Didn't play all that well for Texas in 2022. Had a couple of injuries as well. Completed less than 60% of his passes. That's a major red flag for me. But the fact that he improved that to nearly 70% in 2023, that is a green flag. Improving year over year as a young quarterback is so important. And he is still a young guy. Yes, he's been in college for 3 years. But remember, he graduated high school early as a junior. So really, this would be his 3rd year in college if he was a 4-year high school player. Good guy. I got to interview him a couple of times and cover him down here in Texas when I covered high school football. I like Quinn. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. Think he gets a bad rap. The injuries are a little bit worrisome. Needs to put on a little bit more weight. But if he can put it all together and he can continue to show that drive, that mature and just competitiveness that he has, I think he's going to be a good player in this league. Maybe the biggest wild card at the QB spot in this draft is going to be Jalen Milroe. Extremely athletic, the best running quarterback in this class. He buys so much time with his athleticism, and he's a clutch player as well. He is someone that we saw make big-time throws last year at all points of the season. That Auburn game was awesome. He throws a beautiful deep ball as well. He's someone that likes to throw the ball downfield. 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, so he doesn't turn the ball over his lot. But the thing that makes him appealing to me is his versatility and his ability to tuck and run. He is someone that's going to be able to, in the National Football League, also be a weapon on the ground. Had 12 touchdowns last year, over 530 yards. I think this year will be huge. Will he develop? Will he grow? Will he improve? If he does, he could be a first-round pick next year. The riser in the offseason so far is Connor Weigman, the Texas A&M quarterback. Had his season cut short really the last 2 years because of injuries, but I've seen a lot of people start to have him as the number 1 QB in this class. Pro Football Focus and the Stock Exchange YouTube channel, friends of the program, check them out. One of those guys had him as the number 1 prospect. And look, his tape from 2023 was awesome. It's just short-lived, right? Only 4 games played, but in those games, he accounted for 10 total touchdowns, completed 69% of his passes, threw for almost a stack. Big arm, former 5-star recruit. I'm not ready to say that he's going to be that guy in the NFL. I got to see him do it in the SEC for more than a 4-game sample size. Just not enough data there for me to make a strong, educated prediction. I see the upside. I see why people like him as a player. I just need more production instead of just strictly talking about potential. A sleeper for me is Donovan Smith, the quarterback out of U of H. I've been watching him for a couple of weeks now, and I think that just the athleticism, the upside, the arm strength, and really just where the ceiling is for him is really intriguing. I think if he's able to work with a quarterback guru, maybe it's Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, you could take him to another level. He's got better each and every year, had a couple of stops along the way throughout his college career, but at 6'5", 240, he looks the part. His arm is incredible. He's an athlete as well. I'm excited to see what he does for the Cougs this year. Look, a lot can change But overall, I would say the 2025 draft class for the New York for the quarterback position is not all that great. It's not a great QB class, but a lot can change. Maybe we have a Jaden Daniels emerge that goes and wins the Heisman and is the number 2 overall pick. A lot can change from now until April of 2025, but my early read is it's not the best QB draft class. Who do you want the Giants to put under center next year at QB? Who should be the signal caller for this organization? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you could, hit me up over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue.